Good afternoon and welcome to the 2014-2015 SGA Candidate Debate. My name is Coleman Wolf and I'm the elections chairman and I'm tonight. Today we're going to hear from the candidates running for Attorney General, Chief Justice, Treasurer, Vice President, and President. The candidates will come up front. They will answer questions from myself. They will have 90 seconds to respond. After all candidates have answered the question, they will have a 30-second rebuttal if they wish, and then we will open it up to the student body to ask for questions. We're going to get started with the Attorney General candidates. Candidate Nathan Graham could not be with us tonight, so tonight we'll just have candidate Justine Harris.
Hi, I'm Justine Harris. I'm from Biloxi, Mississippi, and I'm a biology major. And I want to be elected Attorney General because I want to make South Alabama's presence at Higher Education Day bigger and better.
Thank you. Justine, how effective do you feel that Higher Education Day is?
I feel that Higher Ed Day can be very effective if we go and make a big presence. I think that being able to have that access to the lobbyists can really make a difference in our tuition and other things on campus.
Thank you. Would you please describe your experiences with higher education and what you would do in order to make it bigger and better for the University of South Alabama?
I am pretty familiar with Higher Education Day. I actually just went to this past Higher Ed Day in February, and I really got to see how it worked and really got to see what went on there and what Higher Education Day is. And if elected Attorney General, I would like to go to different organization meetings before Higher Education Day and really explain to them what Higher Education Day is, why it's important, and get everyone really excited about it. And once we get there next year, have big South Alabama flags, shakers, and great t-shirts, so when we get there, the lobbyists, they can't help but notice us.
Thank you. Last question before we turn it over to the student body. As the Attorney General, it is your job to bring before the Supreme Court any student group that misuses SGA funds. How would you make sure that each group is using their funds properly?
I think as far as making sure each group uses their funds properly, keeping an eye on groups, going to the meetings, checking up on them, making sure the funds that they got for an event or whatnot is being used, and just really staying in touch with the different organizations and really keeping an eye on what SGA is funding would definitely be it.
Thank you. Is there any questions from the student body? If you'd like to ask a question, please come up here. Seeing no questions, we'd like to thank you, Justine Harris, and good luck in the campaign. Next will be the candidates running for Chief Justice. Thank you. Candidates, could you please introduce yourselves starting from the far left?
Hello everyone, my name is Trenton Kenner Neal. I am a biology major here at South. I'm from Luceville, Mississippi. I'm a junior. And as Chief Justice, I feel that I can put all the experiences I've gained throughout my various positions, throughout different organizations, and here at the SGA for the past 2 years, towards even better in the SGA.
Hey, I'm Daniel Curry. I'm a sophomore here at University of Alabama, South Alabama, sorry. I'm an advertising major. I hold a position in my fraternity, and I recently just served as Senate Clerk for the SGA. And I would really love to bring a sense of justice, and when people go to the UDC or have a ticket appeal, they could feel like they could approach me.
Good evening. My name is Micah Messer. I am a sophomore here at the University of South Alabama. I'm majoring in computer and information systems. And as Chief Justice, I believe that dedication and honesty is the #1 qualities. And I believe personally that I have those qualities and that I deserve this position, as well as to serve you and to make sure that justice is served on this campus.
Hello, my name is Janelle Johnson. I am a junior here at the university. My major is elementary education. If I am chosen to be your Chief Justice, I will make sure that that the rights of students are upheld and that the SGA rights as well will be upheld.
Thank you. We're going to start off our questions with Kane. You'll answer first. You will have 90 seconds to respond. You have 30 seconds left. I'll give you notification. And then at 90 seconds, I'll ask you to stop. Okay. As Chief Justice, you are the student voice on the University Disciplinary Committee, or the UDC. How will you approach this part of your job, and how strictly will you enforce the regulations and policy of the university?
Well, to begin with, it has to begin with the fact that the Chief Justice is the Supreme Council head. Are in charge of the UDC meetings, along with their 5 justices. The big thing with this is actually trusting your justice and keeping everything in confidence. And with this, a big part would be for me to actually know what is going on with the campus and actually doing background work, which I would gladly do, to know that each and everything that I go into to actually do, to talk to the people and actually learn what's going on, so that everyone actually has the proper and projected correct judgment on their problems. And that's all.
Thank you. Daniel?
Can you repeat the question?
As the Chief Justice, you are the student voice of the University Disciplinary Committee, or the UDC. How will you approach this part of your job, and how strictly will you enforce the regulations and policies of the university?
I think it would be important to approach a disciplinary hearing with an open ear. You want to hear what the student has to say in the situation they were just went through, and it'll be different for every student. They're a different person, so you have to keep that open ear, to hear what they have to say. And in approaching the rules and regulations, you want to keep a unified front on every level. So as you get each case, you need to look at it and work with your associate justices to pick the correct action. But we would stick pretty close to the rules, just so we don't have 2 opposing answers between us and the university.
Thank you.
For me, when you approach the UDC, I think it's important that you understand where the student's coming from, the situation they're in, and to honor and respect that person in that situation, no matter what it is. At the same time, you got to take the input of your fellow justices before you come to the decision, before you make a decision in that UDC. I think it's important that we stick to the bylaws and the Constitution that we have now. It's very well written, very well done, but at the same time, you need to be open-eared and be able to listen to the students so you understand exactly what they're going through and so forth. So,
Thank you.
Okay, I will make sure that each student's cases were taken very seriously, and making sure that whatever their disciplinary is, that that their rights are basically being taken care of.
Thank you. Kane, would you like to rebuttal any of your fellow candidates' answers? Daniel? Anyone? Okay, we'll move on. Daniel, you'll answer this next question first. With student enrollment increasing and no new parking being added, how strict would you be on parking appeals, and on what grounds would you appeal a parking ticket?
Just like I said about the UDC thing, you have to have an open ear to the students. A lot of time it's a situation that they can help, but sometimes there's an emergency situation that is out of their control or that was really unforeseen. And you want to be there for them. You want to be able to listen to them. And if you can help them and have that appealed, then I would love to do that. But if it's something that they can help, that I have to abide by the rules as well. If I can help it, I feel like every other student can. And a ticket appeal that I would probably let go through would be in, like, they have to leave their car in a random spot because they have to be rushed to the hospital, or weather isn't really something I would consider a ticket would be appealed for.
Thank you.
for me, I would say regarding ticket appeals, they're pretty complicated. I mean, everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own ideas of what they believe is appealable. But you have to have an open ear, as my fellow opponents have mentioned. You have to have an open ear for that student. But at the same time, you have to respect the bylaws and the Constitution. It's already laid down with the way parking services is already done. I understand that it's very trying. I've had my share of parking tickets. But at the same time, you have to understand this is a system, and it's not going to be going away. As SGA, we've tried to fix it, but it's here to stay pretty much. So.
Thank you.
I need to answer that question as well.
Yes.
Pretty much just to pick off what they've said, we just need to make sure that we take every precaution of those appeals. There are situations about those appeals which can be considered, and yeah.
Kane, you have the final answer.
Can I ask for the question to be restated one last time?
Yes. With student enrollment increasing and no new parking being added to the university, how strict would you be on parking appeals, and on what grounds would you appeal a ticket on?
But when it comes to the object of actually being strict with it, to be entirely honest, there are bylaws and regulations set by the campus that even as Chief Justice cannot actually go against, because it is in our Constitution and everything that as a governing body of the student government. The thing though, when it comes to actually appealing a ticket, it would honestly have to depend case per case, because every story has a difference. As long as it doesn't truly go against the rules in any certain severe way, most likely it'd be easy to appeal some tickets. But some tickets are just plain and complacent, such as being late for a class and deciding that you want to appeal your ticket because you had to park somewhere different. I'm sorry, but it's against the laws. That's it.
Thank you. Any rebuttals from any of the candidates? Okay, it's going good. Yeah, first question. As the final voice in interpreting the Constitution and the Code of Laws for the student government, do you feel that the SGA needs to follow the law strictly by the book, or do they need to have a loose interpretation for the student groups coming to asking for funds?
Personally, I am very much by the book, very strict with the Constitution and the bylaws. I've been in the Senate for a year now. I was on the Appropriations Committee and Legal Affairs Committee. We dealt with this kind of stuff. I mean, appropriations especially. We dealt with many, many different organizations on funds and such. And we had to take the bylaws seriously. We had to keep them strict because we don't have all the money in the world to give to anybody. So personally, I believe that we have to stay by the bylaws that are written down right now. If things want to be changed, that can be brought before us, and we have to be strict on it.
Thank you.
Can you repeat your question, please?
Yes. As the final voice interpreting the Constitution and the Code of Laws for the student government, do you feel that the SGA needs to follow the law strictly by the book or have loose interpretations for student groups asking for funds?
I believe that we definitely need to stay strictly on the to the bylaws that we have, because they are set to certain standards for how much funds we do get.
Kane?
Well, as I stated before, there are laws within the Constitution, the bylaws, everything that govern what exactly can occur. It's not really something to be taken loosely because everything is set in stone. But however, I will state that throughout the past 2 years, I've been on the Legal Affairs Committee, Rules Committee, every committee that really deals with this sort of thing. And I really have noticed that senators hear what occurs and they try to change legal I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. Try to change the legal area so that everything actually places to where students actually can understand it, understand where we can and cannot actually follow the bylaws. And as Chief Justice, I will say that I will be strict with actually make sure that everything is maintained as it is stated within our laws, unless there is a full, a full congruent, a full acceptance amongst the senators that some laws should be slightly changed or altered.
Thank you. Daniel?
Like I've been saying, every organization has a different story. A lot of times they have this awesome cause that you really want to support, but there's this one small thing that goes against the bylaws. And the cool thing about the SG is they're able to see that and they'll think about it and help this organization find a way around that. So I think as the Chief Justice, I would interpret the bylaws, and I would love to stay exactly just right with them, but we're here to help the organization. So if we need to find a different way we could help them or skirt around something, then I think we should.
Thank you. This will be the last question before we open up to students. Students, if you have a question, you can come right up here and line up, and we can get those questions for you. As the Chief Justice, you do interact with the Department of the JAG-TRAN. How do you feel that the JAG-TRAN system can be improved, or what changes need to be made?
Changes. I've experienced that the JAG-TRANs, they really don't know the communication of the radios. Like for instance, the radios, they say I'm at the Grove or I'm at the CAF, but they're really not utilizing that. So maybe we need to enforce that if you are at the Grove, then you need to be at the Grove, or if you're at the CAF, you need to be at the CAF. So then students can make it to class on time.
Okay, thank you. Kane?
Can I ask for the question we restated last time?
As the Chief Justice, you do deal with the JAG-TRAN department. What changes do you think that needs to be made, or what improvements can be made?
Well, really, a lot of the changes, for instance, past SGA meeting, we actually had the head over the JAG trans come and speak with us about route changes and such. So they really are listening. And then over the past several SGA meetings, that we've actually been working, actually our senators in computer and science and such have actually been working on an app change to our actual USA app so that we can actually keep a location on all JAG trans. So really and truly, the only way that I could personally help would just be to try to learn better routes and maybe speak with the head of the department to maybe encourage more trends per area. That's really the only way I could say that I would actually assist in bettering it.
Thank you. Daniel?
As Kane said, the drag train is actually working on adding another stop. I think it's by ILB in the administration building, so that will actually help a lot with congestion and students getting to class on time. And I would always be open to suggestions from students about the JAG Tran.
Okay, thank you.
As Chief Justice, I mean, obviously, yes, we do deal directly with the JAG Tran administration and so forth. And as they mentioned, also, we are in the process of actually adding some more routes that were originally there, including that new stop at the ILB. The JAG Tran app is actually in progress. Actually, our vice president is on the actual group managing that. So we are doing what we can for you guys with the JAG Tran app. As the SGA and as Chief Justice, I'll make sure that continues, as well as being open to your suggestions and your input on other things that could be raised and other things that could be improved.
Thank you. Any rebuttals? Okay. The student body may now ask questions. I ask the student body, please keep the questions to the topic of the Chief Justice duties. Candidates, you do not have a chance to rebuttal any of these questions, and the 90-second answer time is still in effect. First question. Please state your name and your major. And
My name is Bradley Harris. I am majoring in chemical engineering and actually serve on SGA right now as a senator and the appropriations chair. During SGA meetings, the Chief Justice will sometimes have to give an interpretation of the bylaws. What experience do you have with the bylaws?
we will start with Kane.
Well, to begin with, I was actually on the Legal Affairs Committee that changed several of the appropriations bylaws, as well as on several that changed everything from acceptance for appropriations to what changes were within what groups could actually accept. And I was also there whenever several times when Chief Justice have been called on to actually interpret in the middle of the meeting a change perhaps, or if an actual occurrence could occur for a group to actually accept appropriations.
This past year in multiple meetings, we needed the past Chief Justice to interpret bylaws. I was there for him reading it and giving his thoughts on that. And Senate Clerk, I sat right by him, so I was up and personal when he interpreted the bylaws.
As I mentioned before, I was on the Legal Affairs Committee and the Appropriations Committee, so we dealt directly with the bylaws. Something you may have not heard of, but you may have heard as well, is this new amendment that's coming in, the constitutional amendment, which actually changes the way SGA elections are done. I was actually the senator that sponsored that. So, I mean, I'm very much involved with how the Constitution works, how the bylaws work, and how that works together. And so, to answer your question directly, I have been there during SGA meetings when they have been needed to be read. At the same time, I haven't actually read them myself, except for on one occasion during the SGA meetings when I had to talk about the amendment that I was doing.
I don't have experience being involved with the bylaws, but I've read them myself and experienced reading those as well at the SGA meetings.
Okay, thank you. We'll take two more questions from the student body.
Hello, my name's Andrew Carroll, majoring in meteorology and a freshman here. Obviously, if you're going for a position of Chief Justice, that means you would have to know the laws that you're enforcing. My question to you is, how strongly do you know the laws, personally, each one of them?
Daniel, you will start this one off.
I don't know every law. I don't have it memorized. I'll say that. And I'm definitely going to have to look up a lot of the time just because I'm human and I'm going to make a mistake and I want to double check myself. But I've read the bylaws multiple times and I feel like if there was a questionable thing in a meeting, then I would have enough information for it to be flagged, and I would be able to be like, all right, that's not right. I need to look that up, double check that, and get the details on it.
Very similar to what Daniel said here. I obviously don't have it memorized. I don't have, section 7.1.1. I don't have that memorized. Actually, I know what that is, but anyway, I don't have it memorized per se, but I do understand the different aspects of the bylaws and where they can be found and so forth. And in today's age, that's what you do most of the time is, you know where it can be found. I do think it's important we actually do know what it is. But at the same time, you can't expect to be perfect and memorize it all the time. So it is important to actually have a copy with you to make sure that you are actually stating the correct bylaws.
Hey, just to piggyback off what they said, I don't know about verbatimly, but I know I can refer back to it when there does come an issue with the situation.
I have a lot of experience with the bylaws. I don't know them by heart because it's impossible. It's quite a few actual laws. I can tell you that I know each of the individual sections and which section refers to what and areas of that particular. But just like everyone else, when it comes to actually interpreting, it is going to be required to actually flip back and actually read the entire sentence and already know where to look. So we save time for the senators and especially in appropriations meetings. But I can say that I do have quite a bit of experience with it, I feel.
Thank you. Our last question from the student body for the Chief Justice.
My name is Emily Indrakin. I am a student in the College of Business and I am a junior. I would like to direct my question to Micah. You said that to be the Chief Justice, you need honesty and integrity. Can you please give me an example of how you demonstrate this in your day-to-day Senate life and how you would apply that to the Chief Justice?
Sure, no problem. Personally, I see myself as an honest guy. As a senator, I've always been honest. As far as I can recall, I've never lied during the Senate meeting. I've never lied during any type of appropriations or legal affairs. I'm always upright. I'm always making sure that what I say is true and not just some blabbering thing that I came up with in my head. With integrity, that's doing the right thing even when people aren't looking. And I mean, some people have, caught me in the SGA office, reading over the bylaws and reading the Constitution, and I don't even know the people are there. Like a couple of times, President Riley Davis was in her office. I had no idea she was there. And then she came out and, I was sitting there reading the bylaws. So I think it's important that you're honest and you're upfront with people. But I also think it's important that even when people aren't watching you, that you're doing the exact same thing as you were as if they are watching you.
Okay. The other candidates, you do reserve the right to respond if you wish. Any candidates wish to respond? Thank you. These were the candidates for the Chief Justice. Thank you all very much and good luck in your campaign. Now we will hear from the candidates running for treasurer. If y'all could please introduce yourselves, starting from the far left.
My name's Zachary Charlton. I'm electrical engineering major here at South. I'm a junior. I'm in the Air Force ROTC. I'm currently a POC, which means I'm a commissioned cadet, and I'll graduate in May 2016. I'm also the current treasurer of Phi Kappa Sigma fraternity. I've reworked both the fraternity and a business's budget to become more efficient in spending and without losing anything else that goes on in the business.
Hi everyone. To start off, I'd like to thank you all for coming out this evening and taking time to do that and being an informed voter. You're going to have to bear with me. I have a little bit of a sinus infection, but hopefully you'll be able to hear me. My name's Emily Jerkins, and I'm currently Senator of Mitchell College of Business. This past year, I've had the honor to work as Director of First Year Council and learn and grow as a leader with some of the best up-and-coming leaders at the university. In addition to that, I think that I have diverse leadership skills. I've worked as a Southerner, which is the official ambassador program at the university, talking to alumni and working with community members. I've worked on committees such as the Common Read, Common World Book Selection Committee, along with the QEP Advisory Board Committee that first year. In addition to that, I've worked as a JAG pal, tutoring and mentoring students. And I think that all of these leadership experiences qualify me for this job. I have an integrated perspective and will be able to utilize my network to make meaningful change at USA.
Thank you. Emily, you were answer the first question first. Most of the student groups view the student government as just a piggy bank. How can SGA change this image while still being able to fund all their needs?
This is a really good point. I think that many student organizations only see us as the place you go when you need money for something, just to put it simply. But I think that we neglect to pay attention to other needs of student organizations. We don't help them follow through in marketing and getting people to their events. And we don't show them alternative forms of funding. And as treasurer, if I can't be the source, I want to be the resource to help student organizations get the funding they need to be successful, whether that's grants, crowdfunding, anything of that sort. And I'll provide resources on the SGA website in collaboration with the SGA web chair to ensure that everyone is aware of how to get money and to know that I'm there when they need me to help them get what they need.
Kind of going along what she said, I've done research past couple days looking up places. There's several education grants and anything like that for just different school organizations for just whatever you're incorporated in. If you're an honor society that anyone can join, if you're in the Greeks, or if you're just anything at all on campus, there's something out there to help you grow. And that's my biggest thing I want to do. I also want to change up how we do funding a little bit too, and not just base, you get $2,000 flat for your organization, where it's 10 people to join your organization. Well, if your organization has 50 plus students, it's a lot, that $2,000 doesn't go quite as far as it does if your organization has 10 students. So I want to kind of map out, and I wouldn't be able to do this until I've looked at all the organizations and everything like that, but I want to kind of map out a better sequence where we can spread the money out more so it'd be equal to all the students rather than every 10 students only get $2,000, even if you have 50. So maybe, for example, like 10 to 20 gets $1,000 and 20 plus students gets $2,000 and stuff like that. So that's something I want to look into doing also.
Thank you. Zach, you will answer this next question first. You just mentioned the $2,000 cap limit. Some students have voiced opinions that the appropriations limit needs to be raised from $2,000 to $2,500. How do you just answered this one, but how do you feel about the issue, and also keep the budget in check?
Well, for example, when we are given a budget and we cannot break that budget, it's the same thing in my fraternity. I make my budget for my fraternity and I don't break it. A lot of my brothers know when it comes down to stuff, I won't bust a budget just to get a little bit extra. And that's really important. But I do think it's important to also increase funding for some organizations. Like I was speaking earlier, if your organization has more than 50 students, that $2,000 doesn't quite go as far. So that's one of the things I just stated earlier is I want to remap it so every student has a little bit better chance of getting that money and not just, for example, if you have that 10, like I said, for $2,000, that's $200 per person. But if you have 20, that's about $100 per person. So maybe map it out a little bit differently so everyone kind of gets a fair share of the appropriations.
Thank you.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Some students have voiced opinions that the appropriations limits for student organizations need to be raised from $2,000 to $2,500. How do you feel about this issue, and how can you keep the budget in check if you're in favor?
I'm obviously in favor of a balanced budget, but I do think that we need to think about this. If you want that extra $500, that's going to have implications. Students aren't for having their fees increased, but where is this extra money going to come from? And it's got to come from somewhere. And as I mentioned earlier, I think that we should be more than a piggy bank. How can we work to support these organizations to find alternative forms of funding and to be a resource for that? And we currently are not doing this, and as treasurer, I will do that.
Okay. Zach, do you have a rebuttal? Emily? Okay. Emily, you answer this one next. How strictly do you feel that the student government needs to spend their budget within house, and what cutbacks or spending increases does the SGA need?
This is a very good question. I think anything we can do to be more efficient internally is great. Another point, and you said in-house, correct?
Yes, within the student government.
Okay. I think that we should try to collaborate more between colleges. There's many projects that we can do that won't take up as much money if we collaborate together. And you're just speaking of Senate projects, correct?
Yes.
Basically? Okay. I would just encourage them to do that. But I would also, and we've done this past year, look at what are we spending the money on? How can we cut this back to still have the same impact and to be just as effective? And I think that that should be a concern for students because we need to ensure that they have a return on their investment and we're not wasting their money.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. How strictly does the SGA need to be with their in-house budget, and what cutbacks or spending increases does the SGA need to have?
I think the SGA needs to be, if we're going to be strict on you, on your budgets and everything like that, and what you want appropriations for, I think we need to be just as strict on ourselves and hold ourselves just as accountable as we hold everyone else in this room and every organization on campus. Because it would be then a double standard, and we'd be then looking back indifferently. I've been a part of an organization where I was running a business and I was running a pool, and we were spending over amount on labor and everything like that. And just a simple reworking of the labor force and what we spent our money on for supplies and everything like that, I was able to cut our budget back about 25% just in about 3 months or so. So I think that's something that's important to look at is on our SGA projects, is there a more efficient way of working on that project? Is there a more efficient way of doing this? Is one item that we purchase have more value over the next item, but it's $20 cheaper on that next item? So I think that's something we need to look at that's really important.
Thank you. Rebuttal, Emily? Okay. Last question before we open it up to the student body. Zach, how do you feel about the appropriation process that we currently have?
I feel like our appropriations process is a little bit messy. I've gone to appropriation meetings, and it's not very, they kind of try to help you out, but it's not super descriptive from what I found. It's a lot of running back and forth to the treasurer's office. I was talking with fellow people in the Senate right now, and SGA, and we're looking at switching over to organization sync. I was wanting to try to work with them and possibly do it where that's there for you 24/7. You're always going to be able to upload your files there and upload that, so you're not having to run to and from, if I get elected in my office or her office, trying to get your appropriations approved and everything like that. And I think that's a lot of hassle, especially with the increase in parking and everything like that, trying to get to the SGA office when we're there and when you're not there, and we all have classes. So that's something I want to make more efficient, is the more efficient form and more efficient way of turning the appropriations in so everyone can get it.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. How do you feel about the appropriation process?
Having been an SGA for the past year and I'm a business major, so there's many things that we could be doing more efficiently. As he pointed out, we are moving to OrgSync this upcoming year, and it has a budget management system on there. It's going to allow us to make everything electronic so that it's easier for you and accessible at all times. But what we don't do right now that I would love to do if I was treasurer is to implement a continuous feedback system. So if you're a part of the appropriations process and you're not satisfied, as we would treat a customer, we will send you something short, a little feedback survey, and you wouldn't be required to take it, but it would give you the opportunity to give us feedback. And then when it comes to the next appropriations process in the following semester, we can implement those changes so that we can better meet your needs. Thank you.
Rebuttal?
No.
Okay. We're now open up to the student body.
My name is Riley Davis, and I'm a senior here at South, and my major is criminal justice. My question for you guys is, this coming fall, SGA will be kind of taking a complete 180 in the process of appropriations with our switch to OrgSync. Part of this is, one, how do you feel about having to kind of go in blind with your VP to completely reformulate the way that SGA does appropriations, but also with that, how do you feel about the time commitment that you're going to have to give to this? Because it is going to be something that's going to take a lot of time and commitment in order to get the system working correctly with this change from the old system to the new system.
Thank you.
I personally want to be a part of it. A lot of SGA I've seen is a lot of repetitive faces and similar faces that kind of stay in it, that get trained by older people. And with the new system, we're going to be doing something completely different. And with me, I've never been an SGA, I've never been a senator or anything like that, but I'm a quick learner. I can learn quickly the bylaws and every little bit to it. But I think I have a lot of new ideas and everything like that that can help us with the new switch and the 180 turn into the new system, so it's more efficient and everyone gets the best that they can from the SGA and the school.
Well, I'm really excited about this upcoming system that we'll be using in the fall, and it's going to require a lot of hard work on our part. I've shown to put in hard work. This past year, I've worked as director of first-year council tirelessly to help them get to where they need to go, and I'm dedicated to doing that with this process as well. I think that one thing that Zach didn't mention was that technology can be great, but if we don't educate people how to use it, it could be bad really quickly. So I think it's important that we show and educate senators on how to use this, so when a new treasurer comes in, everyone's aware, and it's not just me or Zach that know how to use it. But I think that we also need to work with the student organization treasurers to ensure that they're comfortable with using it and to get their feedback. And one of the things I would like to do is to create an inter-treasurer council that would meet at least on a monthly basis so that we can talk about funding and that they can let me know or let Zach know what could we do better to help you.
Thank you.
As appropriations chair, I work side by side with the treasurer with the appropriations process. Is there anything in the bylaws that you would like to see changed?
That's a tough question, Bradley. Look at you. I'm not exactly sure what within that process we should change. I do know that there's things that need to be improved, and I think that if we sit down with someone like you who's been on the appropriations committee before and just be like, how can we make this process work better? And what rules should we change? Because we need to update our Constitution to a certain extent and make it more modernized for 2014. And I think that in collaboration with legal affairs, we can do that, make it happen, work on it over the summer, as I did last summer with legal affairs, and transform the way we conduct the appropriations process.
There's two things I've been looking at changing. One, like I stated earlier, was the $2,000 limit for the student organizations. I want to rework that, like I said, to depend on your membership and how many members you have. But going on that, I don't want people to just lie about their members. You kind of have to then prove your attendance and everything like that. So that's something I would want to incorporate into our bylaws and everything. I was also looking at it, and you have to turn your receipts in the following semester within 6 days, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that one. But when I read that, it makes it sound like you can only turn it in at the next semester, and you kind of have like that 6 day window. And I have talked with several organizations, and they say that they have a hard time holding on, and they feel like they can't turn it in until that next semester within that like window. So I want to make it clear for everyone and say it in the bylaws saying you can turn it in anytime from the spending up until like a week after, 6 business days after the next semester. So, and we have something in our office that keeps track of everything that they turn in. So that way people don't have to hold on to it for the next 2 months or a month or whatnot and keep track of it.
No rebuttals for student questions. Sorry. Any other student questions?
One time.
Well, these are your candidates for treasurer. Thank y'all and good luck in campaigning. Next, we'll hear from our candidate running for vice president. Can you please introduce yourself?
Everyone, my name is William Pearson. I'm the current SGA vice president, and since I'm running unopposed, I guess I will be your next vice president for next year. So sorry if that hurts anyone's feelings, but
Will, as vice president, what can you bring to the office that it has been lacking in the past years?
well, last year I was actually not here over the summer. So a big thing that did not happen that I wish we would have done is kind of introduce all the new senators who have not been involved before with exactly what we do and how we do it, and kind of engage the senators first. That's probably the biggest thing that needs to be changed, that can be changed for next year. As far as SGA as a whole, as a lot of you have heard during this debate, we are implementing a new software called OrgSync. It is a campus management software. Within that, it will require a lot of student organizations in addition to SGA, which, we are going to do everything we can to get all the kinks worked out this summer. That way, come fall, everybody will be ready to get rolling on this, and we will better serve you in terms of promoting your organizations, an easier and quicker appropriation process, so no one's sitting in a meeting for 3 hours to hear us say yes. So there's a lot that we can do and that we're going to do to improve the way that we serve the students.
Thank you. Last question before the student body. What do you feel is the purpose of the student government?
I think the student government is not above any student. We are here as an outlet for you. I'm running as a graduate student next year. I'm currently a senior in information systems, so I've been around for a little while. So there's a lot of us that have experience in different campus organizations as well as SGA. So we have a lot that we can offer to students in terms of fundraising, promotions, just getting more students involved in the day-to-day student activities. And I think that that's something that we can bring to the table and hopefully will improve with this new software.
Is there any questions from the student body? Seeing none, thank you, Will Pearson, our next SGA Vice President. And now what everyone's been waiting for, your candidates for President. Welcome, candidates. Can you please introduce yourselves, starting from the far left?
Good evening, Jaguars. My name is Joseph Hobdy, and I'm running to be your next SGA President. It is my job to serve as your voice as the student government for the student body and to relay the message back to administrators to do what you want. Being that I've worked with SGA over the past 2 years as College of Allied Health Senator, Rules Committee Chair, and Senate Pro Tem over the summer term, I know what it takes. Seeing President Riley Davis over the past year being the voice is more than a job description. It is a lifestyle. It takes a lot of work. I know what it takes to be president. If elected next year as president, I promise to listen to the students' concerns and communicate the needs to administration. I will not be the yes man, but I will advocate for what the students want. I will be honored to be your next SGA president. Thank you.
James?
I'm going to try to keep the microphone as far away as I can because I already talk loud enough. So thank you. Good evening, everybody. My name is James Denny. Currently, I'm a junior and studying in communications. I'm a part of JAG Pals, which is over at JAG Success. Also, too, I'm also part of the Housing and Fooding Committee. I go up there, I tell everybody how we feel about the cafeteria and try to make it better. And I'm also in Air Force ROTC, and I serve as a POC. The reason why I wanted to run for SGA, I never been on it before, and I felt very passionate to help out my student body. I see the importance of creating this campus to be what it can become, and I think I'm the leader to take us there.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Danielle Watson. I am a junior here, a professional health science major and a minor in Spanish. Different organizations that I am a part of is ASA. I'm Miss ASA this year. I am an orientation leader as well. Thank you. I'm an orientation leader as well. I have been on SGA for the past 3 years now, and being president to me is something that I've always looked forward to, something that I've always been passionate about. SGA is something that I've always worked hard for and willing to get the job done and be that leader that the students really need.
Thank you. Joseph, you want to answer the first question. Other than your duties listed in the Constitution and the Code of Laws, what do you feel is the role of the president?
The role of the president, outside the duties as stated in the Constitution, is to make sure the student body is engaged and enjoying the campus here. Taking your concerns and relating to the administration body is to make sure that the students they feel at home and they don't feel they have to go to other places around the world because they don't feel at home at the University of South Alabama. They should feel comfortable here.
James?
Thank you. I feel the role as a president, you don't need to have that position just to be the president. I just act as a student as I am. I'm engaged in as many people as I can meet. I go out, meet everybody. Today I went to the intercultural studies areas, and I told them how just as important they are to the student body as everyone else, because I feel that we need to kind of get the culture of South Alabama to where it needs to be. So as the president, I'm just loud. I'm willing to meet anybody. I love talking, and I love promoting that South Alabama is the place to be, because it is. It's in a perfect location. We have the greatest resources here, and it's everything that you want in a school. So I hope to promote that and promote students to get involved. I never been a part of SGA before, like I said, and I just felt very passionate. I want other people to feel that same way too. Instead of complaining on Facebook or just kind of writing up things real randomly and just kind of chitter-chattering around, I want them to be engaged. Go out. Don't be afraid of what you have to say, and be a part of something. Be in a great organization as SGA.
Danielle.
Can you please repeat the question?
Yes. Other than your duties listed in the Constitution and the Code of Laws, what do you feel is the role of the president?
The role of the president really is to be that voice for the students, whether it is for administration, going to different organization meetings, meeting with students on a regular basis, walking around the campus, getting to know what the students actually need. That is really what the president is. It's not only a leader, but it's also a friend with the community, getting out, not even just on campus with the community as well, volunteering, doing different stuff that the campus really needs, being that voice, being that face that everybody wants to see, saying, you know, hey, how are you doing? You know, we need this, we need that, actually being there for the people. So I believe that's what the SGA president does.
Thank you. Any rebuttals? Seeing none. James, will answer this question first.
Outstanding.
If elected, not only will you have duties as the president, but also as a student. How will you be able to balance the two, and which one would take priority?
Well, right now I currently serve once again as a JAGPAL Air Force RTC and a part of the Food and Housing Committee. So I don't feel anything that I have to do is really going to be a sacrifice. To me, a sacrifice is sitting on the couch watching a favorite movie, and the next thing you have to do is go get up and get a piece of cake. That to me is a sacrifice, because you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to lose this really, really comfy spot, or I can go get a piece of cake. Everything that I choose to do is a decision I want to make. And that's the decision that I chose to make. So by serving in SGA and being the president, it's what I want to do. So if there's any sacrifices or so-called sacrifices that come along with that, that's a decision I'm happy to make and proud to do it. So
thank you.
I know that being the SGA president does come with a lot of responsibilities, and being on SGA the past 3 years, I have made a lot of sacrifices between schoolwork and SGA. Of course, we are here to graduate. That is the number one thing we are here for, but we are also here to be a great student, a great leader, and I believe that is what the SGA president is. So taking out that time to help the student body or to help out SGA is something really important to me, and I have great time management skills in order to do so. Like I just said, I've been on for the past 3 years, so I know what to do, what to expect, and how to get the job done.
Thank you. Joseph.
Being involved since my freshman year in multiple organizations with Southerners, ASA, and various other ones, I know it takes a lot to put different organizations to the forefront and get your job done. That's not an issue that I have, and I know what it takes. SGA president is also always a priority. You always have meetings to go to, but I always have meetings to go to now, serving in different positions I am, and I'm able to still balance my school work, have a social life, and get the jobs in each organization I need to have done.
Thank you. Any rebuttals? Thank you. Danielle, what do you feel is the biggest issue that students face on campus, and how will you correct this problem? Please do not mention parking.
I believe that one of the biggest issues that students really face are, simply getting involved, getting to know the other people that are in different organizations, getting out, meeting them, knowing which organization really fits them. I do know that we have different fairs, USA fairs, but let's be honest, a lot of people do not get involved with that. So I really think that's something that the university faces. And also, I guess I'll add this on, being involved with the administration. A lot of students, if you're not really a student leader, you don't get the opportunity to really sit down and speak with the administration. So I really think that's a big issue that we face today, being able to interact with them and knowing what all is going on with the university to be that leader.
Thank you. Joseph.
I think the issue that students face the most right now is the lack of student engagement. Even if you're not in an organization, you don't have to be in an organization to get out and do stuff on campus. I think if we better work with our different organizations on campus to promote the events bigger and better, we can do more things and get students to engage with the student body a little bit more, so they, like I said in my opening statement, they can feel at home at the University of South Alabama.
The number one thing is passion to me. We look at other schools and we kind of walk around with our South Alabama t-shirts, and especially freshmen, when we see them the first day, we kind of laugh at them like, look at all that South Alabama gear that they're wearing. But that's what we want exactly at our school. I'm tired of seeing Alabama and Auburn at our school, because that's not who we represent. That's not who my tuition money goes towards, and that's not who your tuition money goes towards. So to me, it's passion, and passion will flow into everything else. To me, it's the root of the trees. In order to have passion, it will grow to everything else. Students are going to get more involved in what they want to be a part of. They want to get in more groups. They want to use more of our resources. We have some of the best resources on campus, and I think it's so important to introduce that to students. And with passion, they'll be able to see that. They'll get more involved.
Thank you. Any rebuttals? Okay. The last question before we open it up to the student body. And this is one that I debated on if I wanted to ask this, but each one of you are qualified to be the president of the student government. Each one of you will do a good job. Please give us one reason, and one reason only, why we should vote for you. We will start with Joseph.
You should vote for me simply not only simply, but because I have worked with the university administrations before. I've worked with different leaders in the community. I know what it takes to get the job done, to connect with students, to be their voice and listen to their issues. That's not an issue for me to walk up to anyone, start a conversation with them, to see what they want to see done in their university, and take that back to someone who can do that. That's something I've worked with in my college to get stuff done and accomplish for them. A recent center project that I got passed this semester with them. So that's something that reason why I say I should be your next SGA president.
When others see problems, I see success. And that's exactly what I see at South Alabama. And I want to be that voice to get out there and let everyone else know that I'm there to be their voice and not be afraid to go outside my comfort zone. I want to get everybody involved in our school. There's amazing, amazing students around here. And I think it's important to show everybody who Jag Nation is and how loud we are. So vote for me, James Denny.
I feel that I'm really passionate about SGA and being on SGA and getting the job done with SGA. Like I said, for the past 3 years, I've been working. I'm in the office numerous hours, working, thinking of ideas that SGA, can do and can help with, interacting with different student organizations, seeing what really the problems they face, and trying to implement different programs and ideas that can fix that. I feel like I can be a very great voice for the university. I've worked with the administration numerous hours on serving on different committees, like the Presidential Transition Committee, working with Dr. Waldrop, coming in, introducing him to the school, planning, different for his inauguration, stuff like that. So I have worked with administration. I've also worked with the student body. So I really think with my experience and everything that I have done with SGA, I will get the job done for it.
Thank you. It looks like we have a long line of student questions, so please bear with us. We'll get as many as we can.
My name is Devin McKinney. I'm a communications major, a junior. My question is, our university is growing. Enrollment is increasing. We got new dorms going up. My question to the candidates would be, how is you, as the face of all of us, the students, be directly involved in making sure that the students that are here now have direct input on the direction of the university and its growth?
I think the best way to get students' input is simply probably have a town hall to where we can pull in, if their schedule allows, the president and different administrators, along with the SGA, to have their voices heard. We can voice anything that you want. If they can't come as president, I'll make sure that we put it on as SGA or as simply president to get their voices out there. And what we discuss at that town hall and take that back in a plan to the administration. If people can't make it to the town hall, visit different organizations' meeting, and just simply walking around campus, stopping people saying, hey, what do you want to see in your university?
So one of the biggest issues, or actually, once again, like you said, we really can't get student engagements kind of small even at this event right now. So my personal opinion is, and one of the things that I want to do as SGA president is post monthly videos, because South Alabama, as much as it's grown as a school, it's actually much of a commuter school as well too. So by posting monthly videos to our student emails that they get every night at 7 o'clock, just kind of posting up things to do on the weekends, tell them our events that we have going on, and definitely introduce our SGA candidates and everyone else that's involved with our campaign. So my big thing is technology has taken us so far, so why not use it as our best resource and hand it out to the students? And the easiest way is emailing them so they can see these videos that we can inform them on.
Like you were saying, technology is really important. I would also say utilizing social media. Everybody in this room has a Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, anything. Social media is really big now. And so getting the word out to them using social media would really help. Also, inviting them to the SGA meetings. We have student forum every single Monday at 8 p.m. and we rarely see any students come by. So that is something that we can definitely stress to them. Come to the SGA meeting. Make sure that your voice is heard so that we are here to help you.
Thank you.
Candidates, please try to keep your answers to 1 minute. We have a lot of questions.
Good evening. My name is Nicholas Frazier. I'm a political science and economics major. We've been on SGA for the past 2 years as a senator. I know a lot of problems on campus. One of the main problems is parking. But a problem that I have is the retention rates here at South. How do you feel about the retention rates, and what do you feel needs to be done to improve those rates?
Okay. Definitely. My first year as a JAG PAL, I actually had that situation where students who came in kind of had trouble in high school. And I found the best way to do that is be the mentor that I could be and kind of get out there and be able to provide the resources and tell them how important it is to go through college. College is not for everybody, obviously, as it is. But I think it's important just to be there. JAG Success, I'll promote it right now for everyone else that's out there. But it's definitely a great resource because we're a family and we're your friends. Compared to everything else, I see the time. Compared to everything else, that family aspect is very important. So just making sure that everyone can see that we're a JAG Nation will help the students.
Retention rate is something that really sticks with me. Seeing the students actually succeed. I know Dr. Waldrop coming in, that was something that he really expressed he wanted to change, was the retention rate. And that is something that I'm willing to work on and really willing to work with the students, offering different mentoring programs, as he said, promoting JAG Success, promoting all the different all the different mentoring and all the different tutoring sessions that they have around campus. So that is something that I would definitely try to implement.
We have a lot of opportunities for students to get tutoring. There's multiple between different academic tutors, SI, JAG Success. That's not the issue people have getting to that because they know it's there. I think a lot of our problems come from keeping students here is usually a lot of them transfer out to different universities because they don't feel that the University of South Alabama is a place for them. It's not their home. Yes, academic success is an issue here as well. We can push getting JAG Success out there and tutoring service that's offered out there a little bit more as well. But a lot of it is in partnered with the activities on campus, because people like to transfer out.
Hello, my name is Micah Messer. Obviously, you know who I am. My question for you would be, in my campaigning, I've noticed a lot of people don't even know what SGA does here on campus. And as president, what would you do to improve that so that actually people know what SGA actually does?
Okay. For the past 4 or 5 months, I've been going around to different organization meetings, talking to them, seeing what they think that SGA can do to make ourselves more transparent. And they were just saying basically, of course, like I said, social media, using that, going around, as we've been doing already, going around to the different meetings, the different first year experience classes, as well as orientation. That's when the first students come on campus. And so that's really important to get to them there, let them know what SGA does, what we can do and what we will do to help them, and also ask what we can do for them, whatever the help they may need as well.
I think the most important way to hook people with SJ is to get them in the beginning. Yes, we do be at orientation speaking to them, but I think if in the beginning of fall semester we have a welcome week, and partner with that with SJ week, which has been started up thanks to a couple of centers and currently in SJ. But if we move that towards the beginning of fall semester and hooking people in the beginning, where we have a week-long event sponsored by SJ, SJ is out there actively engaged in the activities. That's a great way for people to know who SJ is.
In SGA, everyone who's a student at University of South Alabama is a part of SGA. I think that's important to know. Like I said today, I went to the intercultural classes today, and I talked to them, and they were really happy to see that there was a voice that was wanting to be out there and listen to what they had to say, because they don't know what's kind of going on, and that's important to drive that not only to them, but to everybody else. And that's the importance of a leader. You can't assume that everyone knows information. That's why you have to go out there and show them. Even when you think they may know, you don't, and that's why you have to teach others. So like I said before, post monthly videos. I would like to do twice a month videos of just events and updates that are going on around campus, and just kind of tell them more about SGA, because everyone's involved in it.
My name is Zach Charlton. Y'all have already met me. Y'all have been all saying to get more involved around campus. So what events do each of y'all already have planned and thinking about to do for the students here at campus?
I think the best events to get people involved in campus, if we do it probably like twice a month, I commend FYC for something they started kicking back with FYC. That's a great thing SJ can probably do around campus. Maybe have it set up to where we play music and we have different games set up as something fun for people who can come out there. And then they can meet their SGA to get involved and have they get to know their voice, who's representing them.
I only have a minute, so I'll make this quick because I have a list in front of me. But some of the things I really want to bring to the University of South Alabama is make a top 100 things to do before you graduate. That involves just doing awesome events, going out to the football field, which we've never done before, just really, really great ideas like that. I also want to do the Krispy Kreme Challenge, which would be a 2-mile run. You have to eat a dozen donuts as fast as you can. That would get more of the students involved around here. Also, top 10 things to do on the weekends. That would really kind of just see, hey, South has a lot of things to do here. It's really, really important. I'm sorry. And also just kind of show them, the best thing is a South Alabama Attic, which would be a place where students at the end of the school year can bring their clothes and just donate it. And then we can turn it into a fundraiser. So all those donated clothes, just t-shirts, students can get back and just buy them, because at the end we just kind of waste things by throwing them away. So.
I think one way that we can implement a way that SGA can be out there and get more involved with the students and the students to get involved. SGA can definitely team up with Jaguar Productions, our student activity boards on campus. That's what they're here for. Jaguar Productions is here to get the students more involved, more engaged, and I think that's more important. So if we team up with them, they have weekly events, monthly events to be at, to entertain the students. So teaming up with them will really help us out. We have them, we should utilize them to get more involved with the student body.
We have just a few more questions, so Robbie?
Oh, thank you.
Hey there, my name is Robbie Regenera. I'm the current first-year council president. First-year council is an SGA-sanctioned body that serves as a voice for first-year students. If elected SGA president, how would you work with first-year council to make sure that FYC is more integrated with SGA?
Good. Okay. So I'm a part of, once again, JAG Success, and I'm a JAG PAL, and I work with first-year students. So I definitely know what it's like to be a part of there. I would have to learn more about the ideas of kind of listening to everybody else to see what they want to do. And I think that's very important. As a leader, you just can't assume that you kind of have the answers to everything. So that's why SGA is a team and a member. So getting other inputs and other ideas and seeing what freshmen have, because each year they come up with great ideas. So just listen to the student body.
I have been attended some of the FYC meetings to listen to the different counselors that are there, seeing what they want to implement for the university. It is an amazing organization made up of all freshmen. The different ideas they have to bring to the campus, such as the Fit Freshman, which is my favorite, them going to the rec, not gaining that freshman 15. I thought that was really clever that they made up. So getting involved with them, they have worked so hard for this university, and I believe that sometimes they can be overlooked. So getting their name out and helping them, promote and sponsor different events would be great, and I would love to be able to work alongside with them.
attending FYC as well, different meetings. SGA is really working hand in hand with FYC because SGA senators and its officers are really the role models to FYC members. FYC members are aspiring to serve as senators within SGA or to be involved on campus. And that's a great way we can bridge that gap between FYC. And also partnering up with more of their projects. They have a sustainability council. They want to start recycling. That's a lot of work with them on every initiative possible that we can to make them feel at home within SGA along with FYC.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Pham. I'm a senior here at South Alabama. My question is, what is your experience with working with administration, and how will you represent the student body in a positive way?
Well, for the past 2 years, I've been hand in hand working with the different administration here on campus, getting to know and meet the different dean of the colleges, the dean of students, associate dean of students, getting to know the incoming president coming in. As I said earlier, I serve on the presidential transition team, getting to know the different board of trustee members, going to the meetings, listening in on them, seeing what they have to implement for the new president coming in, as well as what they have to see for the school, and being that voice for the students as a representative with the administration. So I have worked really hard with them, getting to know them and trying to help my voice stand out to them so that I am a good representation for the student body.
Other organizations that I've been in, mainly primarily Southerners, and that's not just limited to that, I've worked hand in hand with the president's office. I've gotten to know Dr. Waldrop in the past month because I went to a banquet with him. Dr. Smith worked with him hand in hand this past year. Previously, President Moulton when he was here. And also the Dean of Students, everyone on this campus. I've gotten to know the Board of Trustees, the chair, Dr. Furr. I've gotten to know him and his wife and the other chair members on the Board of Trustees, Dr. Busta and the Development Office. Because every position that I've pretty much been in on campus, I've gotten to know everyone in each office and the top administrators.
My experiences are a little slim to the administration, but I do go out and meet as many people as I can, and I'm always excited to do that. As much as I am kind of limited to that situation, I'm never afraid and go out and meet people. So to do that, I'm once again, as I said many times before, as a JAG Pal, I work with a lot of teachers. So just being there, I am used to being around the administrators and hearing what they have to say and kind of giving them feedback as well as how the students feel.
Thank you. We'll take 3 more questions from the student body.
Good evening. My name is Robin Davis. I'm a junior here at the University of South Alabama, and I am a radiological science major. My question is for Joseph Hobdy. Joseph, what have you already done to show that you can be the voice of the students, and what improvements have you made in SGA that benefited the student body?
This past year, I actually sponsored a bill for my college of Allied Health. The issue was students were taking the team-based learning classroom, and they had to go to the communications building for that. And mainly the people in this class are Allied Health. Well, they are Allied Health majors, and they have parking passes for the Allied Health building. So that is East Parking. So they're having to walk or take the JAG-Tran over to the communications building, and that is prolonging their time when they already maybe come from class in the Allied Health building. But I got a bill sponsored. My Senate project was to fund for the technology to place a team-based learning classroom within the Allied Health building.
We'll have the last question of the night by the SGA president, Riley Davis.
Hey guys, Riley. One thing that I was very firm in a year ago today, but now can tell you that I'm completely wrong, was that I thought I was prepared for this job. I thought I knew what SGA president entailed. I could not have been more incorrect. I think that it's easy to prepare yourself for what your job description is defined and what you see, but sometimes life throws you curveballs, and sometimes life hands you a difficult year. My question is in part of 2 things. One thing is, SGA president, you have to speak on behalf of the student body. Sometimes that means putting your own personal beliefs aside and speaking as to what you believe is in the best interest of the student body on hard topics such as tuition increase. This also can lead to you catching personal flack from students who may not have agreed with what you've said. My first part is, how do you feel as though you can handle that and still maintain a professional attitude and speaking on behalf of the student body, not yourself? The second one is a lot of SGA president duties sometimes cause you to have to sacrifice your personal needs. Are you prepared to have to step up and be a leader in times of heartache and heartbreak, and also work through things like vacations such as fall break, Christmas break, and spring break? Are you able to put your personal needs for space and time and your emotions aside in order to fulfill these obligations?
I guess to answer part one, it's life to have tough skin, to be able to deal with different people throwing stuff at you, being able to represent the student body right. That is something you definitely have to have. And for me, I can honestly say that's something that I'm still working on and growing. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect, that I don't take stuff differently, but that is something that I definitely will be working on and will work on if I am elected in office. As a second thing, as far as putting aside emotions, it's just something that you have to do to serve your student body. I am one out of the 15,000 students that are here. And so if I have to put aside whatever is going on with myself in order to represent the student body right, that is something that I will have to do.
You have to separate personal life from business life. You cannot let anything that happens in your business life affect your personal life. You have to get the job done and effectively serve the student body. So if it's something that I do not want, but if it's something that the student body agrees on, I'm going to say and speak on behalf of the student body, because that's what the general consensus is. As far as, excuse me, can you repeat the second part of your question? Sorry.
Putting aside sometimes your personal needs and your personal emotions in order to step up as a leader, working through things like holidays, and putting yourself as a leader rather than having your emotional time in instances of maybe heartbreak or tough times academically. Just how do you feel about that?
Ultimately, it's what I signed up for. Eventually, it may affect you, but it's something that you did, so you have to keep on pushing through. I signed up for this, so I need to better serve the student body, no matter what I have going on. That's going back to what I'm saying, trying the best to keep your business life separate from your personal life and keep pushing forward to bring about the greater good in the community.
Last month, or actually over the summertime, I went to field training, which is for Air Force ROTC, and the whole entire purpose of the training was to get you in stressful environments where you're going to have to make wrong decisions, you're going to have people against you, and you're going to feel really, really down about yourself. But at the same time, you're a leader and you have to step up. So to me, after going through that experience, I'm still going to face those adversities throughout life, and I'm kind of like better prepared for them. So I'm thankful for going through that kind of training. But I experienced what it's like to march your flight in the wrong direction, and you're in charge of 50 people and feeling so ashamed about yourself. But at the same time, that made me into the leader that I am today. So when I kind of go through those, they're just little speed bumps, but that's what life's all about. It's kind of the best enjoyment of it. So,
Thank you, Riley. Thank you, candidates. Ladies and gentlemen, your SGA president candidate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we leave, I'd like to thank the JAG TV, the Prowl, and the Vanguard for all coming out and helping us broadcast this
Best
event
music
live.
is on the Prowl.
And to the student body, thank y'all for being here. You're going to be an informed voter. Thank y'all. This is one of the biggest crowds that we've had at this event in the past years. Woo!
Go South.
Campaigning is still going on. The ballots will go out next Monday, March 31st, and they will remain open through April 2nd at 3 p.m. You will get your ballots via your JAG email. And if you have problems voting or you do not receive an email, please email jaguarelections@gmail.com. There will also be a polling station set up at the Student Center Mall. If you need it, just a quick run by, just quickly vote on your way to class. We will have computers and tablets set up for you. It'll be free for y'all. Runoffs will be April 7th through the 9th. Those will be the candidates coming the 2 highest places in offices where there are more than 2 candidates. For the Vanguard, would like to invite all candidates who wish to come speak to them after the forum is closed. If you would like to give and voters, if you'd like to give a quote or your opinion. With that, I'd like to say thank you to the SGA, to the student body, and go Jags.